Inferno. Actually, this reminds me a lot of Italy. I was just there.
Oh, cool.
Looks very Italy.
Yeah.
Just the rooftops.
Yeah, I can see that. And like the broken roads.
There was not much tax on some of the food there. I don't know how they got the roads in as nice condition as they were, but it was nice. Looks like we're gonna see a killjoy from the guy with the Viper profile picture. So, as predicted.
Oh, the Sova users are playing Sova.
Oh my god,
Huge.
they're dedicated.
Absolutely huge. Both of them too.
Mm-hmm.
Respect. Mad respect.
It's gonna be definitely a rivalry to look out for between Grant and Chase there.
Oh yeah. All right. Looks like we got KU attacking and George Mason on the defending side, starting this map 1 off.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be interesting to see who goes where. That's always the really cool thing to look out for when a play starts. Is what agents do they have on what site, and how's that going to impact what utility is used, especially round 1 where there's so little utility on the field.
Mm-hmm. I agree. You know, as I always say, send everybody Rush B.
Rush B.
Always a good choice.
You have Rush B. Always good choice. Ring bomb straight into sight. They'll never suspect a thing.
All right, but it looks like KU getting set up to go on.
Does look
B,
like they intend to rush B. Yeah.
Hey, we have more information than they do. We have clairvoyance.
True. Will we see somebody try to watch that from mid, though? It looks like their Omen is set up to play mid. But will he be able to see them in time? It looks like they're going to be splitting.
Get that smokes out in that area. Very, very cool.
Yep. Drone's going out to look for somebody peeking mid. Doesn't see anybody.
Ooh.
Jet is already really far up in.
They have the site surrounded.
Yep. They've effectively already breached site.
They suspect people over there. Okay.
Defenders just can't keep them off of this.
Yeah. They're able to claim that site pretty handily. They don't lose anybody, and they get one in Oh, sorry, they do lose somebody.
KU has lost a player.
Yeah. My bad. Hey,
but they're just kind of hanging out back site, waiting for the retake. Kind of gave up the time advantage. Oh, and that's a pick there.
Ooh, 2, 3, 4.
And the tables have really turned fast. They should not have let KU get so comfortably onto site.
Yeah.
Battle of the Jets. And Esper is down. That's going to be round 1 to KU.
Huge. Everybody knows pistol round is the most important round.
Yeah, that's a very big deal. Who was running the shorty?
Oh, the shorty?
That's a bold move when you see the shorty come out.
The shorty is is my choice
the
whenever
shorty
I play.
Is basically a melee weapon with how awful the spread is in this game on shotguns.
Well, it's the fun one.
Yeah, it reminds me of the taser. Least. I'm going back to CS again. You got to stop me from doing that. Oh, somebody fancies themselves an Arizona Ranger with the big iron on their hip. Esper set up to try to take an early pick on an A push.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like set up a bit on the A side, but they're pushing mostly through mid. I think they're intended to take a pick and push from there.
Oh, a little bit of a greedy take on the ultimate point there.
Yeah, this is not a top-down game. When somebody's taking one of those orbs, it is extremely obvious. They're quite loud. These players, they know where those orbs are. They're always going to get that pick if they're within spot.
George Mason is kind of being picked off around here. They have the same spread that they had in round 1.
Last player standing.
Seems like KU have already identified that and just kind of worked around them here. Get the plant.
Gunfighter decided not to save. Way too early in the game for that. Also running the Sheriff. Let's see what he can pull off.
It's the Sheriff clutch. I've seen it before.
Oh, no, it's definitely a thing, but everybody else has some sort of full auto here. So he's going to have a disadvantage speaking, and he has his knife out at the wrong time. Caught with his pants down.
Thought he was safe.
That's a strong round 2 for KU.
Yeah. Establish an early lead. I think winning on attack is probably the more important place to win.
For sure, yeah. It's definitely where you're the most disadvantaged, although I would say that this map trends a little to the side of attack-focused. I could be totally wrong. But I always feel like attack has a bit more of an advantage here.
Yeah.
There's a lot more options to move between the sites. And the spots that the defenders are in are typically a little more predictable. Especially on B side.
Yeah. Looks like they have changed up their spread a little bit. They moved Omen into A instead of from mid where he was the past couple of times. Maybe predicting them. Getting that cover.
That is on the lookout, but he appears to be the only one. The other two are focused cat like they're expecting another B mid push.
Yeah. So much time.
Oh, Chambers going in to peek the catwalk.
Ooh.
Let's see if Jelly can get anything. Not using a headhunter, still using, looks like the Bulldog. It's a very cool skin.
Ooh,
And he's not going to be seen.
Oh.
Alright, KU is now pushing
nice
into
edge.
A site. It looks like they're decently committed, although Omen's going to do his best to cut visibility and keep him from doing that. That might be his own frag that got tossed in the doorway there, slowing that just a little bit, which could give George Mason enough time to rotate. Not playing very aggressively. Oh, and that's okay. Looks like this round has turned on KU, but Jelly's still going for the push. Gets the jet.
One.
They know where he is now. He's at a severe disadvantage, and he keeps the angle with the turret. The turret just slows you down just enough. You're not going to be able to move out of that spot. Didn't keep an eye on his mag count, and just lost the trade.
Yeah, that A push did not go nearly as well as it did in round 2, but hey.
The initial push was pretty strong, but they just got held back. It was the other opposing team KO. That frag slowed them down just enough to get the rest of the team back on site to hold it down. So George Mason showing they're not really out of this yet. But
yeah, they seem to really think they're going to go back into A or through mid. And
KU is going for a bit of a strange approach here with the 2-3 split.
Ooh.
Normally your advantage on attack side is that you can have more players stacked onto one site than the defenders can without committing to rotating and leaving a site completely open. Am I losing it, or was the spike left behind just in case they don't get this push? It looks like they've left the spike in an easier to retrieve spot in case they botch the push.
They don't want to reveal where it is just yet.
Smart play. And Grant was spotted. He's now suppressed by the KO, so it looks like they're probably going to abandon the B push and take the bomb with them. But the A push appears to be pretty held down by D-Ved, so we'll see if they're able to get any progress or if they're just going to have to regroup and try something else again.
Looks like they're going to regroup, but it also seems like George Mason don't really have a great idea of where they are. That shot being fired, they do know somebody is there.
The best clue they had was KO. And all he had to use was his regular utility that regenerates, so he's going to be able to use that again to get information next time the chance arises.
Yeah.
Let's see what we've got.
Oh,
Dylan pushing down mid. He does need to watch out for, it looks like an operator. Oh, no, that's a scout watching him on the right.
It's so tense.
Oh, lands the body shot, but doesn't quite aim high enough.
30 seconds left.
But now they know that catwalk is the plan. Is Aki going to get the pick? He doesn't. Do they know? Oh. All right, KO is down. Aki gets a lucky wallbang on that peak, but he's pretty low. Ooh. Takes out the Sova. Oh, he was running on pure adrenaline there, but with only 10 seconds left, is KU going to be able to get the plant down? It's a 1v1, and George Mason just barely takes it.
That was such a tense fight. It felt like trading blows, one person down, one person down, everybody kind of going back and forth.
Well, Aki with the three-piece, including that lucky wallbang through the smoke. Could have been thing that would turn around the whole match there, but D-Ved just in the right spot on site, able to pick him off pretty easily.
Yeah.
Again, you could see with the mouse jitters, definitely a bit of adrenaline wondering how he got that one, and it threw him off just enough that Omen was able to get the pick there. And from there, it left Jelly high and dry, out of position with Aki and
get out of my way.
Deep side.
You might drop the round, but getting a couple kills like that is definitely a mental boost.
They did not leave much eco, and looks like they're going to have to give away a B push again. Very smart use of the utility to bait that out and commit them to another push. But the mid push looks decently far along. Aki using ult. No. Looks like Aki will be using the ult this round. Didn't buy a primary, just has the shorty. Oh, this is a pretty confident move, but just not hearing the right opportunity to peek.
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe
almost.
That was his window, but almost.
Blocking sight.
So interesting.
They are just not quite sure where they're going to peek. Looks like Astra's made their way on site. Tito is going for a pick and doesn't get it. The eco difference from that Phantom and those pistols is really showing this round.
Definitely.
Aki's still able to pick one with the ultimate. 4 knives left.
Did you get the plant off?
2 knives and nobody. Aki's going to have to back off and hope to get a shorty pick. But it looks like they might be high and dry. Nope, they just barely lived, switching over to a Sheriff. 2v2. Trying to hold down the plant, but it looks like they're both back on site. KO's looking for somebody on attacker side. Checking the corners. Alright, K-Train's got a flashbang. Probably going to toss it low. And he's going on site. Gets an easy pick, but he doesn't check his corners. And Aki's able to hold down the round with the Sheriff. Incredible.
What a great round. Down down and buys. And like it initially looked really
That
bad
looked
because
very
you have the
poor
ult,
for KU with the ult being wasted and the 3 picks going out. But Aki once again turning that around with the Sheriff. Surprisingly, not a whole lot of use coming out of the knives in that round though.
Well, and I mean Dylan had a really good move on the plant to kind of accelerate the round. Like, okay, we have this left and we have to do this.
That's the one. We were just talking about this before the match started. There's a knife in this game that's modeled off of one in real life. It's a morphing karambit. It's a pretty neat thing to see show up in a game. You can tell that the devs definitely know their stuff. It was a pretty niche thing at the time that it was added.
Very cool. That's awesome. All right. It's always so interesting to see these like more competitive, higher quality, of course, players. You take the round so slowly. The round seems so short. Like, it's like, oh, it's just a minute and a half. It seems so short. But it's really like a lot of time to work with. And you can kind of sit and figure out what your best move is for a while compared to the bit
compared
of
to lower elo
game
like I'm used to.
No, I'm peeking that corner every time, man.
For sure. But yeah, you see a lot more time spent waiting for information and kind of baiting each other with these low-cost abilities to try and get an idea of who's where down to the angle.
They're gonna move onto the site, close the doors.
Wow, we've got 4 players from KU on A site. Chamber is looking for a pick on the rotate, but it looks like he's just kind of waiting now. He doesn't realize how far off. He doesn't realize how far off Killjoy already is, so he's just alone on B, not able to help here. George Mason, Omen's got smoke going out, and he doesn't quite cover himself.
Good trade back there, moving him really low.
Jet's ultimate is coming out.
Oh,
and gets picked from behind.
Jelly with the long
Jelly
flank.
finally comes through CT.
I saw that coming from. I mean, I guess on the minimap because
I wasn't keeping an eye on that.
I could see that coming. Really good move there to know that your team has enough control on the site that you can afford to go for the little bit of a longer play.
Jelly, I'm sorry I doubted you. I thought you were way away from the play, but you came in at the most important time.
That was a really good claiming of the site there. They move in quick, shut the door, mark off one area, and then all you have to do is just watch that upper entrance.
It was a very clean take.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell, though, that the players are starting to care less and less about ego. They're not giving up that site as easily now. They're more willing to die with those guns. Seeing that, especially in this really aggressive push from Esper. Getting picked off of the back of the B push. Chamber once again lurking, coming up behind Esper. Will Esper catch it in time? Not quite. Noticed it, but a moment too late.
And this is the downside, I guess, for seeing moving a little bit too fast. You win that last round, really riding that momentum, and you move into the side too fast.
Coming into the rear, preventing that rotate was definitely big for KU. Jelly just didn't come in time to get Jet off of it, and then they lost some of the picks once they pushed onto site. Pushed on probably a little prematurely, but it looks like Jelly does not intend to save. Not that it would really be viable to do with a whole minute left in the round. But with that smoke about to go down in a couple seconds, how exposed is he going to be? If only he could see what we are seeing right now.
I'm down for the clutch or kick moment here.
Katran, even though hearing that, decides not to peek the corner. Oh, shock dart going out, and it makes contact. Jelly looking for the wall bang, but doesn't quite get it. Knows that Omen is somewhere on site, but not sure where. Sees the KO and is just totally outnumbered on that angle. I would have gone anywhere else, but with the spike already on site, there wasn't much of an option.
And good patience from George Mason there. You don't need to push him. He's going to come to you. Just
for sure.
Be patient. And we saw it. He went, and hey, good effort on the 1v5, but
it was a nice try.
Yeah.
Would have been an amazing round if he'd been able to pull it off. But again, enough eco left over in the tank that they're not too worried about it, especially since he's got his ultimate on deck. And he's able to get what is essentially an operator, if you're not familiar with what Chamber does. He has his own guns that he'll bring in. He keeps on little cards, one of which is similar to the Sheriff, and this one is similar to the Operator, which essentially saves him 500 points at any round, or 4,500 I think it is now.
Yes.
Looking for a pick on Catwalk, but the team's not pushing B, so nobody's really bothering to peek.
And nobody from George Mason isn't really watching this mid entrance here.
No, they're keeping it quite lax.
They just know.
Yeah, they felt it in the air.
Ooh.
KU still pretty early into the push on A site.
Good grab there.
Fast pick.
Missing on that shot right there.
Looks like that shot might have been to bait them into thinking it was going to be a B push. And Sova's checking side a little closer. Killjoy as well. It thinks that chasing gunfire, they might be a little more aware. But after they saw that go out and didn't see anybody push onto site, they are now rotating. And the writing is on the walls. Oh my goodness.
That kill there does kind of feel bad with the Sova ult there.
Yeah.
But hey, the Sova ult can be used for recon as well, and they know where he is and they shoot at it, but...
Seemed like a bit of a waste of the Sova ult from our side, but I could be wrong. Oh my god, and we've got a Killjoy in use. Possibly even two, one that may have just gotten destroyed. Hard to tell. Akijel will pick two. Ebed just sitting there, didn't turn in time, but still managed to get the trade with the wallbang.
Good trade there. You trade 2 for 1, and now your team is down.
Grant probably didn't even notice that he was in the Killjoy because 2 Killjoys were put down. Manages to get a pick on George Mason. And stops the plant in its tracks.
How embarrassing.
Good use of that, and now he has, looks like he's going to choose to go with the Vandal instead of the Phantom. Essentially just brought his eco back up for free. Didn't even use all the shots in the operator.
I like the quick little 2 kills from Aki there, enabling the rest of his team to have like a more of a shot at winning that round.
Yeah, that was their one good angle, and he really ruined that for them.
The 3v5 turns into a 2v3, and that is just much easier, and they take it down.
Got Omen very low as well, so it made it a lot harder for him to do anything. Alright, Gunfighter places his turret a little further back, gets his utility destroyed immediately, and Sova's just a little too far in. Will Jelly be able to get the pick? Takes the shock dart to the face, and he's gonna bail.
It is a runaway angle.
Yeah, just barely gets away with his life. Will they pursue him? Looks like they might. Oh, Killjoy's pursuing. Sova's going back to site to watch for a mid-rotate. Looks like their KO's also watching middle.
And the A side is just left completely
Aki is
unmanned.
completely fine. Yeah, takes the site with relative ease, pre-firing that corner, checking hell. Nobody there. The spike is on top. Oh my god. Chase with a quick Spectre pick, but just not quite enough. Everybody knew where he was, and they were just too many guns pointed in one spot there.
Yeah, they don't know exactly where George Mason are at that moment, but they know that they can really only come from one place.
They've got enough info
before they show up, and as long as you're ready for them to show up, then they pick up the kills and they take another round.
Something you'll see a lot at a high level like this that gives you an advantage. Because everybody's aim is so good, somebody's going to get the pick. So the more heads you have on one angle, the better.
Yeah.
Just the difference of having 2 people. Somebody is very rarely is going to be a situation like Aki got to pick off 2 people there.
Yeah,
they were basically blind. Normally having that second person is going to guarantee that you get one, but they get you.
Dylan with the peek there on the
the
operator.
And he's holding that angle hard, gives it up just in time for Aki to walk through. That was tragic. Just gave up just in time, going back to look for the A push. But that is not the plan. This is that dreaded mid push that they really haven't been watching out for at all. Looks like Owen might have caught a glance of him there. And after closing the door, they might be rotating to A, which doesn't seem like a good move.
To us, it doesn't seem like a good move. I'm sure they think it's a great move.
They've committed. They think that, they're about to rotate over to B. We'll have the easiest A take of all time. But
on my way.
Well, there is no the operator is still looking mid. So
true. But Jet's pulled back quite a bit. Esper probably is ready to rotate back into A. And there's the Astra ult, splitting the Viz here. Oh, but it doesn't matter because there was a dart that detected Aki, but he doesn't seem to care. Didn't check his corners, got picked by K-Tran.
Yep.
Alright, that operator is not going to have a whole lot of use now, but he might shoot blind if he sees utility go out, and he's where there's smoke there might be fire. Ult is down.
The kill goes over. It's just so hard to enter through here because you know there's an operator on
KU's
site.
definitely lost their angle advantage. They're now just from the... 3 guns pointed to one spot, and instead of bailing and trying to rotate B, they just stuck to it. Stuck to their guns, obviously had to get back in there to retake the spike, but it was just lost a little too deep.
It's kind of a similar situation to the round before it, where you push them off the site and you know exactly where they're coming from, so you can just walk.
No choice.
Off the area. There's no real other option for them.
Once
there.
Grant walked over to the right side there, especially, there was only one corner to look out for.
Take a look at the scoreboard right now, Aki.
Yeah, Aki's really
the business,
carrying the team a little bit here.
Yeah.
2 rounds came from somewhere.
Hey, that's what you want your Jet to do. You want your Jet to. You want your Jet scoreline to look like that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's definitely an
somebody
enemy team
that
Jet.
knows how to use that mobility. Speaking of that, Aki now pushing ahead, all the way up into sight, ahead of Jelly.
If only they knew.
sees the drone go out, has to know how close Sova is right around that corner. He heard that audio cue. But he's more concerned with that operator. Trying to pre-fire and get that. Heard Esper leave. Almost seemed like he knew exactly where Esper's going to.
It's so interesting that they
Very good
hear
use
that
of
sound
audio.
effect. You know exactly how long that dash is. Of course, Aki playing the
At
jet,
the
you know
level they're
exactly
at,
what that is.
I kind of have to guess. I honestly would have thought that was a retreat into mid. Dylan tossing the flashbang. Doesn't really get anybody with it, though. Trying to take out that operator, but clean bolt action run. And he is going to clear out. No, not quite. D-Vet just barely gets him, but now everybody knows where everybody is. And he just barely holds down that site. Probably just a difference in the guns with his ability to pre-fire there.
Last round in the half.
Versus the more careful approach that Jelly was going to have to take with that single shot.
Yep. I wonder
Lots
if
of
anybody
use of
picked up
drones.
that operator. It's just an expensive gun, I would hope.
True. Yeah, that round definitely put Gunfighter, Chase in the low.
Oh, no.
But
Okay.
they're not too worried about it since this is last round. Just about everybody was
that's
able to
true.
buy.
That's true.
Aki, though, with the Spectre, he's probably going to have to push in hard, pick something up, and hope for the best. But he gets outgunned early in the round. That could be the difference between this round and for KU and George Mason.
Yep.
Get out of my way!
Aki's been a very important player. It looks like he's going to use the ult, though, to even that out. Should have thought of that. He's got enough points from those kills.
Hey, it's last round before the swap. We gotta use that.
Alright.
Use it or lose it.
Here in the Odin being used at B side against Jelly. Jelly's holding strong. He's going to try to keep the angle, and he does not get it. That means Esper with that operator is all the way over at B. Oh my god, Aki is stuck, and he's just going to hang out, but he forgets that the turret is there. He's now on 10 health. Not much he's going to be able to do, and he just gets shredded as soon as he enters sight. Too many projectiles.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those bomb
Switching
blast
sides.
zones in that little
Yeah,
corridor really
very
just
good
blew
use of
him
those
up.
traps by Killjoy to keep
Yeah.
them in place like that. And again, the turret was huge because that was life or death difference for Aki. He did not know that was going to be there. Slowed him down just enough. Probably realized the reason he was having trouble strafing afterwards was because of that turret.
Yes.
But man, lots of damage went out there. Locked down the whole site basically because of how they were approaching through mid.
But hey, 6-6 after the
Yeah,
first half. Not
even in the
bad.
first half.
Pretty entertaining. I'm having a lot of fun watching this.
This is very close. Seeing
Yeah.
some very impressive plays from Aki. Seeing a lot of very fun jet happening right now.
Oh yeah.
Looking to see how the Sovas will continue to clash. They haven't had a whole lot of direct confrontations here.
Well, and we have the most important part again, of course.
What's that?
Second pistol round.
Very true. Killjoy with the turret up top. Weird choice, but will prevent anybody from playing super aggressive here. Aki definitely wants a pick, though, and is waiting for somebody to approach. Killjoy has the spike, so George Mason's going to have to wait for them to catch up.
Yeah. They get the pick on Jelly there.
Yeah, D-Ved and
Quite
Esper
unfortunate.
watching for mid. Looks like they don't suspect anybody in CT, and they're totally right. Great game sense, although looks like just check that angle. Grant is definitely aware of the mid push, definitely wary of it, and we'll see if he pushes out to check on it since it's been so long. Looks like he is going to do that.
Dylan
Here's
in a
gonna
little
speak
bit of
a
a
little bit
precarious
louder.
position there.
We've got Astra and Hell suppressed, can't use any blinds, anything, and just gonna get picked off. Gonna actually make
Spike
something happen
planted.
They
here.
know where Aki is, but
They-
it's up to them to see
Last
if
player
make something
standing.
happen.
Thought that Grant might be able to distract them a little bit. He's gonna break the window to bait them and then double back through, but can they just close the door? They're not going to. Trap right there below him. That's probably going to be... Oh, he has to give himself away. And he didn't expect even to be that close in the corner. Again, so many on that one angle.
At
Very
that point,
hard.
this is hard to play from there. 1v4.
It's always worth trying to get the picks
Yep.
where you can on that pistol round.
Of course.
All
Yeah,
right.
they wait so long
Right
and they
here.
finally get the right angle where they think everybody is just kind of hovering around B and mid. They've shown their faces, they did the pick, and then they all just rush A. Dylan not ready for it. Take him down, capture the site. Easy
Yeah.
peasy.
Track them down.
We'll see, though. It looks like we have some pretty confident buys from George Mason here after that last round.
Scanning
KU
ahead.
turns into pistols. Probably
Yeah,
smart.
KU
Save up
is
some money.
sticking to classics on some of them, looks like.
Yep.
Shock dart.
But you can definitely make something happen with that. Oh, we got a share from Aki, a bold pick for a bold player.
Definitely looking for KU to get as many picks as they can here.
Yeah.
Get some money.
Killjoy burning a lot of utility on that B bait both times here.
Yeah.
See if Gunfighter keeps going with that. Gets the pick mid.
It's hard for them to win these firefights at the buy disadvantage, but hey, it's alright.
Aki's on the flank,
One enemy
and he gets
remaining.
picked off by Gunfighter.
Out.
Once again, Astra hung to that site, and Cheeto just does not have the tools to make anything happen, especially with the potential for KO to toss a knife in your general vicinity, keeping from being able to use any utility at all.
Well played around there from George Mason. You know,
Yeah.
last time we saw, or maybe not the last time, but I remember an earlier round where KU was playing at a disadvantage and buy, and they actually win the round.
Yep, and then
So-
that was total opposite.
Yes,
Again,
definitely much cleaner from George Mason on that buy advantage.
Well, it looks like Gunfighter took that sheriff off of Aki's body. Very cool skin.
Yeah.
Looks like
Recalling my bot.
really is an attack-heavy map here, so KU's really going to have to make something happen. They're going to have to get a read on this.
Strike down.
Gunfighter puts a more aggressive bait in place, but it looks like they really may be going for the B push, so let's see if they've been conditioning KU to commit to that A push. Looks like they're rotating fast, and they may realize that they were played. Even Astra's moving off-site.
Oh, yeah.
Cheeto going through CT, and then Aki once again off on his own coming through mid. But they've got 5 on site, and only one of them is even remotely low. No need for a healer here.
Spike
Yeah,
planted.
they just overcommit onto the A site.
Dylan
For better
pre-firing
or
his
worse.
one.
And definitely for worse in this round.
Yeah.
They rush B site, get the 2 people, and now we're in a bit of a 3v5.
Dylan using that frag to try to get information on what corners they might be in. Doesn't pick anything up. Aki's quite low, but he's still gonna try. They've got the offsides here. Managed to get a pick. That turret is down. Oh, and it's down to just Astra in the blink of an eye.
Yep.
Stuff really starts moving once people decide to make those pushes.
KU definitely need to get around here to swing momentum back in their favor.
Yeah,
this is now, I think, like 5 rounds in a row.
This is
For
going
George
pretty
Mason,
poorly.
it's definitely in their favor. They all have these big rifles versus the definitely
KU
smaller
still
buys.
has not recovered on their eco.
Yep.
Probably all hoping to get maybe a pick and pick something up. But the difference in that armor is going to be pretty noticeable with the Phantoms in play, especially.
That's also true, definitely.
Bit of a strange use of the knife to check the corner from Katran there, but pretty smart.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see people find unique ways to use abilities.
All right, Jelly's repositioning himself in mid. Definitely suspects that mid push again. Definitely the safest place to watch right now. But will he hold it? It looks like he's going to fall back to B site because of that smoke the Jet pulled out. Just not worth it to try to hold that 1v3 alone. Going to try to keep him from getting on site. But George Mason hasn't really decided where they're going yet, so Aki's got to really hold them down off Catwalk. This is going to determine which site they're going to push into is the path of least resistance here.
Well, they did leave the spike, so and now Omen going back to pick up
True.
the spike. Seems like they've decided
Doesn't look
where
like
they're
he's
gonna
going to
go.
have ult
Here.
up either.
Well, he has time to run over, heading onto B site.
Again, KU definitely expecting an A push of some
Yeah.
sort. They need to start moving, but they just don't know yet. Looks like a strange dart went out there.
George Mason
Gunfighter
doing a
wasn't
very
even
good
sure if
job
that
of
was
hiding their
friendly.
position in general in these past
Yeah,
couple rounds.
very good
impressive.
use of smokes from them. Jelly suspects them, and he definitely knows now.
30
Will he be able to
seconds
get one? Just too much happening, has to fall back. But all he's got is the classic and a dream. Very low health.
Aki takes one back.
Again, George Mason able to take that site quite easily, but KU's got some more manpower.
Spike
They've got
planted.
another chance to retake this now that they know who likes to hide where. If Jelly can get this pick, this could really turn things around. Esper's been quite a confident player for them, and he's definitely their best watch of that angle, but he's gonna go around. Lines went out. Looking for the shock dart, just doesn't quite get it, but the clock is ticking.
ready.
Cuts
So
Aki
tense.
off from the push. Misses that. He's out of charges in the headhunter.
Ooh, yeah, it is pretty
George
hard to
Mason,
hit.
oh, George Mason knows where they are, and looks like abilities are off the table, not that they had many left.
I think the goal here from KU is to try to keep them in the site.
Oh, yeah, and KU just gets totally crushed into that little box,
Yeah.
into the shed there.
It was a good little turn there. Aki picking up 2.
Yeah, it looked like it was about to shift, and
Yeah.
they just didn't quite get it. Again, if Jelly had gotten a pick there on Sova or Esper, would have made a huge difference.
I think maybe what they were trying to do is try to, like, just apply the pressure and try to keep them in there, get the spike to blow up, and get rid of all their guns, spend their money.
Yeah, KU definitely needs to be considering holding those sites a little more confidently. We've seen a pretty confident hold from Cheeto, staying on the A site no matter what. We really need to see that same thing for D. Oh my god, and Jelly is able to get that pick on Chase before he's able to get any information. That will be a huge deal. Sova is very important on this map with all of the little entrances he can shoot those arrows through. Esper, it looks like he's going to be going for a pick mid, though. We're about to see a clash of the Jets down mid. All right.
Jelly has the operator this round, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
There's a drone that just went out B, so they really don't suspect that B push anymore. They're looking out for mid and A for once KU's got the right guess on where they're going to be. It looks like Esper and Katrin are going to be pushing in from Catwalk. Dylan gets a pick. But that smoke's going to go out, and Esper's going to push a little further in, leaving just Cheeto to defend site there against 2 angles. He's not going to be able to cut it. But
get the
KU
spike
still
down.
got some manpower, and that spike is down. Looks like they're going to be able to reclaim it pretty easily, though. Gunfighter's planting. Will Jelly be able to stop it? He waits a little bit. Probably not the smartest move because it puts you on a timer, but it is a 1v3. Will Esper be able to make something happen? Grant looking for information and wastes his whole health bar. 1v1, Aki takes it, doesn't realize the bomb's planted for a second there. Okay, he's got it, and that's going to be a big deal, even though they did lose 4 players just for KU to be able to turn that momentum around.
They do pick up the operator.
And gets the operator. Will Aki be the one that keeps it, or will he trade it out to somebody like Jelly so he can play a little more aggressively?
Yeah, I'm sure it's been dropped right back to Jelly.
There we go. Jelly's going to take that and hold mid. Looks like nobody on George Mason's going to be running the operator, so they may be able to make something happen with that. There's been that constant threat of Esper with that operator all game down mid lane. So, mid lane. It's been a bit of a risk, so them having the operator is a huge advantage. But
I got that. Maybe
like,
it was an unintentional pun, but I got that.
Thank you. Looks like Jelly's going to be pushing pretty far up with the operator, though, instead of holding that mid angle, leaving Aki to take it. But they're pretty committed to this A push. George Mason already on site, again taking out Cheeto. He gets left alone every time, forcing KU to retake this site. But they are closing the door. And that really was a confident push. They've got 1 in hell, 1 on the boxes. They've got the spike already down. Aki with his ult ready to make something happen, but with no other options, he's really going to have to land those shots. Got his knives back. Nobody's watching him except for Gunfighter, and it looks like K-Trans now suspicious, but they just had to take their attention off of the drone. Aki picks up another one, doesn't quite get the head on D-Ved. Grant ready to toss out a shock dart. Hits D-Ved, does quite a bit of damage. He's going to be looking for some information. Oh, but knowing where they are, just a moment too late. And George Mason's able to take that momentum right back and put it in their pocket.
Yeah.
It's very close to a win for them.
I was like that round win for KU was very, very important, I think, because it did give them more confidence. But then George Mason just kind of flip it and say, hey, remember how we've been taking 45 seconds to get into the round every time?
Yeah.
No.
They reminded them that they know when to play
in. We know exactly where you guys are. We're going straight in, and we're going to take you all out. And it's interesting how there's always kind of like a period of calm at some point in the round. In most rounds, it's right at the beginning, and in that round, it was halfway through.
Yeah. Very interesting to see the mental conditioning that George Mason's able to play on KU here. That's the advantage they have on Attacker, is that they were able to kind of force your hand on where you need to be positioning, especially after that A push. But it looks like KU didn't take the bait. They're still spreading themselves a little thin. Again, Cheeto's the only one on A site right now, with Dylan coming up into the catwalk there. Definitely knows that D-Ved just teleported in. But will he be able to get it? No, D-Ved with the wallbang. And once again, George Mason very confidently on site. Aki wanting to make something happen. Wants that door out of his way, but with the smoke there and 2 people on that angle, it doesn't seem great. Esper is taken down, though. And Grant has a pretty good spot here. Killjoy knows where they are. Is able to use a really good frag. Just had very good control of space here. Oh, Chase just barely botches that shock dart, but that could have been huge. Might have taken Grant out and done a significant amount to Jelly since they've kind of got their eggs in one basket here. Oh, and the classic versus a real gun. And just trying to take the right pick there. Get that pick there. And,
yep.
Doesn't quite get the shot. Both of them strafing quite a
Match
bit.
point.
But Jelly was definitely at a disadvantage with the gun there.
Honestly, that was just a good round from George Mason.
Yeah, they
go to B. They try to bait everybody there, use some of their resources, and then
Right
they just
here.
book it straight to A, jump one of the people, and then
Right here.
kind of just have control over the site. Slowly pick people off as they go through.
It's been a really strong showing from them so far. 4
Right here.
Phantoms, it looks like, and 1 Vandal. Very interesting to see the
Right
difference
here.
in the preferences by the players on these teams.
Yeah, and you look at how much money's left over. KU have to
Yeah.
win so many rounds in a row, and they don't have that much money to work with.
No, they cannot
So we're
afford to
looking
lose
for-
anybody.
We're looking for a 5-0 here, or
they're
a go
gonna be-
next angle.
Significantly disadvantaged
Shock
next
dart.
round. Shock Dart going out, not going to connect, but sees the drone right there in the gap in the smoke. George Mason still not committed, but Aki definitely feels like they're going B. Gives himself away. Killjoy's more aware of them
Revealing
coming around
area.
that flanking out, and they're going to commit once again to the A push. KU's
Nobody
really
here.
far up on the A push. They have nobody on site. Oh my god, and then, okay,
Spike
Jelly
down
had
A.
a teleport set up, so he's back on site, but they're already so far below him, and again, he's stuck with that operator. What's he really going to be able to do? He's going to give up that angle and fall back, but there's not really any better spot for him to take. George Mason with the Killjoy, going out, keep that site down,
One
but
enemy remaining.
kind of getting lax in the process. They've got 1 player left,
It's a 1-on-3.
but they have the spike, so it looks like Chase is going to be rotating, and KU is still waiting for him to come back on that angle again. I don't know if they know that the spike is not
Not
down.
ready yet.
I'm sure that they know the
Scanning
spike
ahead.
isn't down.
They noticed by now.
30
They're still
seconds left.
expecting that A push, and he's doubling back. Gets that information to know where Aki's going. I don't know if he got hit by the scan or not. With only 20 seconds left, and he's
Jelly
got to
wants
take
to
that
turn
peek. Oh my
Nice.
god, and Jelly's able to turn around. Not quite a 5-0, but 3 will do. Especially
good.
since they didn't lose that operator.
Yes, that's what I was going to mention. That is the key thing that they did not lose. That
So
is
we're
very,
done.
very good.
Will Jelly be using it mid this round? He's setting it there early, but it may just be to get a teleporter in place so he can play a bit more aggressively like he's been tending to do.
Yeah.
He's fallen back to A site this time instead of B. He's tended to like B all game, so we'll see how this goes. They're much more confident in setting it for that A right now after how easily that site's been taken. But again, more of the mental conditioning. George Mason, 5 stacking B, probably going to go for the rush B like CSGO. Blind coming out, and Aki knows something is going to happen here. Oh, sees
Not
Esper
spotted.
cross, but
Not
he's
spotted.
just going to hide, keep that angle. No ability to dash out of this, so he's really got to rely on his gunplay. Went to get the pick on Esper, and he was already on site.
Oh.
And just barely loses that trade. Very confident play from Aki, though. That keeps KU in the game this round.
Yeah, so patient. Like you see the jet dash by and you don't instantly jump on it.
I
You
would've
wait.
gone
You
straight
wait and
for it.
you get 2 kills.
Waiting for it to line up.
Very, very good.
But both players from KU on one angle here, and Esper knows it. In the 2v2 situation with Sova off that site. Is KO going to be able to get this? Oh,
Enemy
wow.
remaining.
Crushed him from both sides. He's going to have to be a little cautious about this defuse, but without any shock dart. Oh my god, gets the headshot wall
Wow.
bang. Knew where that was.
Shock dart.
Shock dart going around, does a bit of damage, but he doesn't quite get it, so he's not sure where Astra is. And he's just barely able to take out Cheeto, taking that game.
Attackers win.
Wow, very strong
Quite-
showing from George Mason.
Yeah, quite unfortunate there. You have the 2v1 on the end, and you
Yeah.
think maybe we can take this round and go back into the next one.
They're
and
really clawing to take that back, especially some really smart play from Aki, but they're just not quite sure where to position themselves on those sites. And so
Yeah.
you're seeing really, really easy takes. And again, with that mental conditioning, KU didn't do quite enough of that on their attacker side. They were pretty willing to play slow and kind of go with the flow of the match, go, okay, what's the path of least resistance? Where are we getting these picks? All right, where are we having the easiest time pushing onto site? Not really tricking them into overcommitting to something as much. But George Mason really playing a mind game with them there. And again, getting some very strong picks and using really good use of their utility.
Yeah.
Just I'm kind of blown away by it.
so
Not
many
stuff
traps,
I see in my
so
games.
so
Yeah.
much stuff, so much control. Like, and it kind of goes back. I wondered that winning it on attack was really important, but it seems on that map
Very
the
much
defense
so.
the defense is really important because it seems so hard, especially
Mm-hmm.
for KU to defend there on that, because they won what 2 rounds on defense.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. It was
It's
quite low.
really challenging. I forget what I was gonna say.
George Mason definitely doing their Alex Jones, playing the info war with their utility, getting a lot of that information and knowing where to be at what time. A lot of confidence you can get from them walking onto site. Whereas KU, again, you're seeing even their most valuable player, I'd say right now, Aki, playing much more cautiously than they are. They're a lot more willing to step out onto the site in those instances. Again, knowing when to play slow and when to play fast. So we'll see if KU learns from that and what the difference in a map might do on this one.
Yeah, I think you lose the game 1. Okay, it's fine. Game 1 didn't happen. You don't need to win game 1 to win to win the set.
Yeah,
you just need to win the other
You're just
games.
feeling each other out in game 1.
So as long as we have gonna get that mental reset, not too tilted, everybody take a deep breath. It's just game 1. I think we'll be fine. I think there is enough present in that first map that would make me think that we have enough to pull this back.
Yeah, definitely some very impressive plays from KU and definitely showing they can work together and they really can pull that back. But we need to definitely see them adapt a little bit. You saw kind of a download complete moment from George Mason where they really figured out what the play was going to be, and you could tell they were in KU's head.
Yep.
And KU really needs to do something to turn that around in this game too. But they have the chance to do that. They have the chance to huddle and reset and go, okay, what was working, what wasn't. And we'll see what that means for players, if that means an agent swap, because that could really go a long way to throwing them off if they start mixing around their agents. It totally changes the game plan. Personally, I'd like to see something like a switch from Cheeto. Didn't see a whole lot of that utility from Astra coming into play.
Yeah.
So definitely another agent would come in handy right now. But Jelly and Aki very strong on their agents.
Yeah.
So
it did definitely seem like it was harder for Cheeto to find angles on defense with Astra. It was fairly proactive on attacking, I would say.
Yeah, it was pretty good, especially use of that ult to really keep that operator out of play. Very strong use of that operator from Esper. So we'll see how they're intending to approach this game.
And I want to go back to something you said. Like it feels so bad when you're playing a game and it's like every play that I make doesn't work and every play that they make does work. And that is so like mentally like harsh to feel. That's what I kind of want them to just forget about. Like, okay, our plays worked.
Yep.
Our plays did work, or they can work.
When they were stacked together, they worked. As I think I mentioned again, with the multiple people on one angle, you saw a lot of that, especially once George Mason got an attack, where they have everybody or 2 to 3 people at a time stacked on that angle. So even if KU does get a competent pick, they're still going to lose that player going on to site. And they didn't group quite enough. There was a lot of very split pushing when they were on attack side, which again, probably very smart for getting information, but once you get into the nitty-gritty, once you're getting into the picks and the trades, you really need to have more manpower on those sites. So
we even saw this from George Mason where they would send all of their people to one, and then that kind of gives you the control of, okay, do we want to continue to push this or do we want to rotate? And we have everybody here, so if we push, if the call is to push, we have everybody to move in. If the call is to rotate, then everybody's synced up.
Yeah.
Which I think has its upsides, but also has its downsides. If you get cornered or if something goes wrong, then you're like, okay, we're all here. We don't have an out. But if it goes the way that it did in map 1, then they just kind of run everything.
I think that was also probably part of the thing that gave Jelly and Aki an advantage on KU, because they have very easy outs integrated into their character's tool set. So they were able to kind of get out of those bad pushes, whether it was via teleport or by a quick dash. So we'll see what their placement's going to look like this game. Haven't seen anything on the ban side or on who's going to be attacking and defending. So we're keeping our eyes peeled for that.
I do
right
think
now.
they may have decided all that in the first lobby. I'm not sure. I think ready. I'm seeing ours in chat. We may be heading into map 2 here soon. On bind.
Love this one. Those teleporters are huge, especially in the low elo where people don't care and they will just
you just
run
take the teleporter
right out the door. But very intense mind games that come about once you see those teleporters in play.
Yeah, I will neither confirm nor deny my willingness to take the teleporter.
Oh,
we are seeing some different.
Okay, we're seeing some pretty bold hovers here. We're seeing a raise. It looks like from George Mason, a Yoru. Potentially a breach.
And that's locked in, yeah.
And fade. Okay, this is going to be a very different round from George
looks like
Mason.
pretty much everybody
And it looks
that's hovered so far is playing something new.
Yeah, KU's going to be taking a different approach. Aki also, so Esper and Aki both going for the same movement character, Raze, instead of Jet. Just changing up their approach for the map.
Yep.
2 fades in play, and we're seeing a Viper from Cheeto instead of Astra. Like I said, definitely changing up the approach there. Very similar functions to some of those utility, but a bit different implementation. So we'll see how that works out on this map. Surprisingly, seeing a healer in play this round. Didn't see any of them last game.
Yeah.
But it looks like KU's got Grant on healer via Sky. Not really a main healer, but it's better than nothing. Especially since we saw a lot of really good control from George Mason with that utility, keeping them on quite low health in some of those instances where health would have been the difference between life and death.
Yes.
And when those headshots weren't got, it was just people pre-firing phantoms on the corners. So
it does seem like a good adaptation so far.
This could be huge. Are we going to see any round 1 shorties?
Oh, we better.
I'm not seeing any shorties in the club tonight, man. I'm seeing a lot of frenzies.
Well, the frenzy is also acceptable. I'll accept the frenzy.
The frenzy's fine. All right. Not clear what the push is going to be from George Mason here, who's starting out and attacking this side. Going to see if they can't keep their attack momentum going and
Grant
stay
like
in KU's head. Yeah, Grant not drawing anything on that wall. I love it when people draw the smiley faces in this.
Oh, yeah. Always.
All right, we're seeing a bomb go out into Hookah.
That bomb bot's so useful to get that, to check out that corridor.
That's to respect somebody back sight. But the smoke from Brimstone's just going to keep him from approaching for a moment. Fiddling with his gun. Is that a compensator on that? That's a cool skin. I've not seen that one before.
Yeah, me neither.
All right, looks like Yoru's going to be trying to bait the A push by possibly using a clone and maybe some other utility, or Diva's just going to be looking for a pick. It can be very different than his Omen.
Yeah.
All right, successful blind from Grant, which even though he didn't get to take advantage of that with a peek, gives him the information that someone is there, but gets stunned by Breach. They're a little too far back to use that to take him out, but it looks like George Mason's pretty committed to this B push, although they have left A wide and dry. Never mind, I spoke too soon. They're all in that teleporter, and KU is rotating all through CT, coming back onto that A site in a panic, but they've given up their best angles. Smokes are slowing people down just enough that spike is going down.
Oh. So many shots into those containers and none of them hit.
Gunfighter just putting that incendiary up. It looks like that's going to fall back down onto the bomb. And things are not looking great for George Mason right now.
Ooh.
Oh my god, Grant picking off 2, and that is all of them down. Incendiary went out, and it looks like KU's going to be able to take round 1 with the defuse.
Yeah.
But many ups and downs. Quite the roller coaster, that
I
round.
could see the play. Like, they all take the teleporter.
No, it was smart. Yeah, that was a really fast take.
I think they underestimated the amount of time that it would take
for KU
to rotate over there.
Especially
they do get the plant off.
Once that utility was down from KU, that smoke from Brimstone and that acid from Viper was just enough to slow down 2 of their players and keep them in what is essentially pushing from start. So KU able to kind of get their positions back and stop that approach.
I guess this goes back to what we were talking about in between games, where the kind of a downside of sending all of your people to one place is if they know that that's where you are, then maybe they've also stacked and they have
Cheeto playing pretty far forward here. Able to get one and has the acid down to keep them from pushing through showers. He's going to fall back. He's on site now, but it looks like K-Tran was able to get through on the fade. Has their blind now. It's not round 1 anymore. And some of that utility's going out. That blind's already gone. But they were still able to take Cheeto out with the grenade. Just was a little distracted taking out one utility. K-Tran just barely jumps out of the way there. They've got 3 on showers and nobody on any other angles in A. Yoru with the bomb was sensing out B, and it looks like he just isn't quite confident enough in their ability to push that. Will George Mason double back, or will they regroup and commit to this A push? KU still holding too strong on B site.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like they know they've seen a couple people on that in showers.
This round could still go either way, but KU's going to need to make that call soon. Because George Mason seems decently committed to this push.
Well, they've seen George Mason look committed to a push and then swap to the other side, so I respect them holding
lots of utility has been used.
See them now move over.
Oh, and George Mason's down to just one. It's Brimstone stuck, and he is going to get cleaned up by Aki very fast. That was a very competent defense from them. Just all of them bunched together in that one spot. And lots of utility to take out multiple players at once.
Great satchel charge there from Aki.
Yeah.
Not
exactly what
knocking,
he was planning on.
Yeah,
but
knocking Gunfighter there. Pretty sure, yeah, it knocks him in the
maybe
air.
It was. Yeah, he knocked him out of the corner, and then he couldn't aim because he's midair. Okay.
Yep. Actually huge. That's so funny.
All right, my brain is
Honestly,
going to grow 2 sizes today. And will we see a different approach? It looks like George Mason once again setting up for B push. They might do another fake out to A, but A doesn't seem to be going well for them. So I think they're probably thinking that they need to commit to B. Again, with the mental state of the players here. But they've got 2 in hookah as opposed to none this time. And Dylan's able to get him while he's distracted. 2 players in the teleporter. And it looks like KU's able to stop that B push handedly, but they have to go check on A site because they're realizing pretty fast that nobody's left on B for them to take out.
They do grab 2 kills though. Definitely good. Esper caught between 2 people trying to figure out where
Jelly
the
just
enemy
came around
is.
the flank and definitely saw yours teleport point there. So let's see if he keeps an eye on that or if he destroys it. I didn't see him destroy it, so. Oh,
good catch.
And KU's pretty sound here. They're not going to get that blind. Gunfighter with the pick. And, whoa! They lined up on that angle a little too close, and he's able to just line him up, knock him down with those easy headshots.
That clutch definitely instills some confidence back into George Mason.
Yeah.
Their original play didn't really work, and I would say the second play didn't really work either, but some heroics from Gunfighter there.
Yeah.
Really
about to
saving that round for them.
On the multiple players on one angle thing.
Yeah. Wow. Definitely slightly unlucky that KU decided to just line up for that and give him that highlight play, but hey, a highlight play is a highlight play.
It sure is. KU's pretty confident in their bye this round. They've got some players who are going to have very little left if they lose this round, but George Mason is definitely using their poverty setups here, so we'll see.
I think it's a good assessment from KU to go for the buys here.
I would say so. 2 in hookah didn't keep them out of it like they have been and getting those easy picks these last couple rounds. But George Mason definitely doesn't feel comfortable having just walked straight in. Dylan knows that's a fake Yoru, but he gets hit by the other 3.
A couple people trading here.
1 enemy remaining.
And the ult went out, but only picked up 1.
Hey, trading 1 for 1 there, and then your team is still in an advantage is definitely good, but it is Gunfighter.
Oh my god, and Gunfighter
not able to clutch it out this
even
time.
though he had that spike, he did not feel comfortable planting it until he knew CT was clear, and he just did not get that trade, so.
Definitely, that's why I think it was good for KU to buy, make a buy there, because they make the assessment. Okay.
They came out of that with 3 lives. Well.
Like, we just kind of misplayed into giving him a clutch for that round win. They can't really, they don't really have any answers for us quite yet, and we saw that in this round.
Dylan and Cheeto spread a little thin on their eco now, but with enough money from Jelly to be able to buy them probably in the next round if they were to lose it. But total poverty on the side of George Mason right now. Nothing but a stinger. Everything else is going to be a pistol round.
Feels so bad.
We'll see, though. Oh! And they just, again, wow, 4 down like that. Dylan getting some revenge from that lineup shot.
Bold here of D-Ved. I mean, I guess he probably knows Dylan is pretty lit.
He has not much to lose here. Not sure what Dylan was thinking there other than just to save himself and his gun and let the rest of the team hash this one out.
Yeah, there's no real reason for him to
maybe just to lock down that teleporter as well, so Yoru can't get around to A fast. But yeah, even not able to get into that site. Very, very strong showing for KU right now. Doesn't look like they're in their heads whatsoever, but the plays that George Mason are trying to pull off just aren't working. They are not getting the picks they need to. They're not getting as clean of entrances right now. So many more spots that they need to be aware of on this map. And they're not checking the right ones at the right times. So we'll see if KU can keep this up.
Like some good, I think matching, like we saw in that last one, they had 2 people holding B long.
They will break.
And I think that was like, I mean, it's always good to see. You're like, okay, we actually have 2 people here, just in case there's something.
The Hunter going out against D-Ved, but it's just going to slow him down for a moment. That gives her a bit of information if they are trying to push showers. Viper going to throw out their ultimate there. That Hunter going out. Cheeto not peeking this, but definitely hoping to get something out of this to slow this A push down.
Good kill there on that grenade.
Yeah. Very strong use of those from Aki this round.
Yeah.
I wish we were able to see more of that happen. Ooh, wow, Grant catching them on the rotate, and that's going to give them all the information they need to know. Surprisingly, he didn't get picked off right there, walking
No
back
corner
on the
is
site.
safe. No corner is safe
Not
for
ready
George
yet.
Mason.
Trying to decide which one of his animal friends to use. Doesn't get any info on the blind, which tells him they're either doubling back or they're going through middle. But we know the truth.
Oh yeah. From this position, it seems really hard for George Mason. They may just
Yeah,
opt to sit there and wait it out, save some money.
they really could save this, especially since KU popped ult on A.
Yeah.
Viper's still hanging out there. A lot of utility went out already.
30 seconds left.
5v3. You lost your big DPS, like your big guy.
Yeah,
Your duelist.
their main enter.
Yeah, it makes it really hard. It doesn't surprise me that they're just gonna sit in their base at least a little bit longer.
It definitely
to
will
save some
help
money.
their eco recover.
Yes.
Man, they were in a bad spot. But it's
10
kind of
seconds
bold
left.
leaving the 5th round on the table here. But they have not been able to get a foothold at all. KU showing very strong defense here.
Yeah, Esper on that 1 and 6, definitely not what you want to see out of your Rays. I think having a bit of a worse game than
Maybe
than
should have
last
stick
game.
to the Jet. But they are ready to go once again, and you're seeing a few more rifles on the field here from George Mason.
Yep.
Will the tools be enough to make it better the trade?
Really more evenly matched fight, so looking forward to that.
You cannot underestimate the Spectre, especially in some of those tighter corners. It will take people down, no matter how little they deserve it sometimes.
Oh, he must know we're watching.
Doing
Yeah, spin the
doing
fan.
tricks for us.
Spin
It's
the
cool.
fan.
It's a cool fan. I'm a bit more partial to the knives, though.
Year of the Bull.
Seeing a pretty strong push from B here. George Mason, just one of them going down middle. Probably Diva going to try to bait with that clone. Grant probably second guessing that since he didn't get any notification on the blind, leaving Esper
your
alone.
fear!
He alone, sorry, and being picked off. Seeing ults on the field. Grant taken out, and that's a pretty strong take from George Mason, looking a lot like game
Spike
one.
planted.
Can they hang on to it here?
Yep.
KU a little slow on the rotate, and they're all coming from CT. This might be a rough take. Dylan is coming around the hallway here.
KU not quite able to hold the site as they have been in previous rounds.
No, that was a very slight difference, but again, that ultimate's still in use, and it just wore off, so Jelly no longer feeling held back.
Beacon down.
Push back onto site.
They get
Last
Esper,
player
they get
standing.
another.
Dylan's stemmed, but not finding anybody to use it on. Definitely suspects that somebody's there, but he's running out of time if he wants to defuse this, and he is all alone, so he might just go for a pick. And trying to get out of that site to save, he gets picked off.
Yep. That
Very
is-
strong.
That is quite unfortunate, but definitely a better look there from George Mason.
Can
Kinda-
that turn it around for them, though?
Yeah, something we hadn't really seen from them in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they still have some money, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, KU's very
they
comfortable
could-
with their eco.
Yeah.
But now George Mason really looks like they have a chance to play. Chase probably going to have to sit on the back line and be using utility there. Oh, never mind. He's going to be able to get himself a Phantom as well. So very evenly matched here.
Yeah, we
Mind
have
my
even
list
buys. It is definitely much better for KU if they win. They have, but they aren't as disadvantaged if they lose.
I think that Sky probably got the information on that blind there, but they are just going to strong push that B again and hope they can get in. Takes the bait. I think that may have been the grenade that destroyed the Euroclone, blinding them, and that was the difference between life and death. Got the showstopper coming out from Esper, but he's not finding anybody to use it on. Fires it blindly into CT and gets picked off in the animation to pulling out his Phantom again. Grant has a chance to turn this around, but he's just not sure which angle he wants to go for. All of KU coming back out onto site. Looks like they heard the teleporters and they're rotating fast. Would have been a pretty strong play from George Mason to leave the bomb there at B.
Oh,
and
they
have
take the
people fake out.
teleporter, but they don't take everybody, and they run
took
everybody
two
else
in the
back.
teleporter, and
Ooh.
yeah, they're running right back to B site. But KU not quite getting the memo yet.
That's a pretty heads-up play. They do keep
Yeah.
Jelly and Grant on the site, but getting caught out here.
Yeah, it's
Not
not
really much
Jelly
they can do
alone
about
and
that.
blind and had no idea which side they were going to come from there.
Yep.
Cheeto and Dylan have a chance to turn this around. It's a 2v4, but J-Tran's pretty low. Chase is hanging around elbow, it looks like, so they've really only got one angle here that's not super contested. And Diva gets the pick on it. And takes out Cheeto as well for the 3-piece for Diva. Very strong showing for him this round.
And we've seen this now 2 games in a row where KU will... We've started hot, and then we see George Mason kind of figure out the strategy, and they get into it, and they start to pick up their rounds. Which is what we're seeing again here. So I think KU, they have this additional round of bye that they've gotten from their previous victories, and they still have some money in the bank. I think this is definitely an important round, more so than the past couple to win.
This is definitely
the line on their money.
Going to portray where the rest of this game is going. We have 2 ultimates potentially in play from George Mason and none from KU, but they're pretty close to getting them. So
that fast push again. We've seen this fast push from them a couple times. It's usually been a pretty good look for them. See how this one shakes out. Still holding a couple on A while this whole thing is happening B. Mother Nature sending out her bird.
Diva looking for picks on A, but he didn't get any, so he's just going to come around and join the team. KU still nervous that they're going to get played a lot like they did in Game 1, where they'll fake them out and rotate. Will George Mason do it? Even I'm not sure.
We have clairvoyance, and we don't even know.
I don't know what they're doing half the time. They really are versatile players here. They're really on their feet, so... Diva using the ultimate to get some info to see how committed they are in A, but giving himself away in the process, going back to B. So,
ooh,
told them what they needed to know about that push. At the same time, told KU what they needed to know. But George Mason, half on site, able to pick off. Alright, looks like Aki's going to be
30 seconds left.
Looking for the pick there and doesn't realize that they are already all the way over to B site. A site, sorry.
Yeah.
Judo able to get that.
That was a good play. That was a good play. I think they stuck to their guns, holding that site where they were, like... I think George Mason just a little bit too sure of themselves, picking that corner. Grant getting a couple of those picks, really, really good. And then Aki kind of finishing it off. And, of course... Cheeto on the Viper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Finishing it off on that last kill.
Very good game.
That was a good round to win.
KU,
a good round to win.
Very important thing. Yeah.
And I think 3 people lived there, so on the economy side, definitely feeling pretty good.
Again, they've had George Mason get in their head a little bit, and that last round, KU just kind of knew what was happening at all times. Better than I did watching the map.
Yeah.
So.
Aki dying early, definitely not great, but they get the trade kill, so could be worse.
Lots of blinds and smokes, very little visibility. Cheeto watching that angle for showers and middle of sight at the same time, but that spike is already down with Dylan right on site, hoping to pick somebody off, but just gets taken out. He's just surrounded by so much utility. All of the team. That Hunter's going to give him away. And Grant is really going to try to make something happen here, but there's not a single safe spot. He is just tap dancing right now to avoid being shot. Oh my god, and gets hit by it. Okay, and the slower fire rate from the breach charge keeps him from being able to take that shot there on the fade.
Yeah, there's so many smokes there on the site. It seemed like KU, in a couple of those instances where they went in and died, it looked like they were so confident and they knew where the enemy team is, and they go in, their intuition is wrong, and George Mason pick up the kills and the round.
Still very impressive play at the end of the round there.
Yeah.
Being able to try to hold that site 1v3. Tap dancing, a lot like the Matrix, the way they were dodging the bullets there. So many eyes on that spot and not a lot of cover. But
good patience on George Mason to realize it's just one guy. We don't need to rush him. We need to give him his opportunity.
Yeah, they had every advantage there with the spike. Bombetti not getting any info, but not being taken out. Hunter telling Jelly that somebody is there, but didn't tell him in time. Thought he was a little deeper into the site because of the way the Hunter looped out and around, and Gunfighter's able to take him out. Again, getting that spike down early, but KU's got a lot more people a lot closer this time, so will they be able to hold it down?
And Gunfighter at 16
Not checking their corners. Grant coming right through the smoke and getting an easy pick. Hearing that he got the blind, knows somebody is in that room. Does he know there's 2? Doesn't matter. They walked out too fast and he's able to pick off 2 of them. It's a 1v1. Doesn't matter that he doesn't get the blind. He knows where Chase is. Trying to force him to peek and pre-fire. Reloading out in the open. And Did he have a connection issue there? That was
Yeah, that was a little bit interesting.
that was a little weird. Quite unfortunate timing for a connection if that was the case. Maybe mouse batteries dying or something. Man, Chase probably didn't deserve to take that. That should have been pretty clear. He would have gotten the corner, but it still would have been a peek there that they would have had to exchange. But man, very, very poor timing.
Always got the 6th man on the enemy team, you know? Or even a 7th, the dead mouse and the internet.
Somebody's got the other net runners going there to, God only knows, DDoS KU take our mouse down.
He said check PayPal.
A lot of utility going out early in the round, again with Cheeto using that ultimate in showers, really scaring George Mason off that pick, even though they only lost Esper. But,
honestly, a worthwhile trade. You get Jelly with just the stinger, or what appeared to be the stinger at least. Like a lower cost gun if that's gonna be the one that you're gonna lose. So you're not so upset about that.
It looks like caught the spike carrier going around to B site.
Good position.
They're able to reclaim it.
Kind of popping off this game. I'm not gonna lie.
Grant's doing really well with this Sky. This was a very smart switch for him. Okay, and the dog. I can't say that.
I think that's my favorite thing now.
Puppy does not find a bone though.
No. All right. So we do have a push here going out. Mid.
Prowler knows somebody is there. I believe that's Candles what that room's called, but I may be completely wrong.
They disperse, trying to head back to the B site.
Yeah, they're spread thin on mid right now. It's anybody's round with the 3v4.
Ooh, the judge.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong placement of it, but only probably going to be able to get off one shot every couple seconds. Still gets a pick with it, despite being stunned by the opposing team's ultimate.
Good position there on that. If he hasn't, I don't know if he had been seen somewhere, or like if he had been seen in that round, so they knew they had a shotgun.
Yeah.
I actually don't know, but good adaptation there, because I don't think he's bought a shotgun.
No, that was I think the first shotgun other than Shorty's we've seen throughout this whole set.
You're not expecting it, so you walk through there like, surely there's not something here, and then you jump down, boom, dead in one shot.
Especially weird to see the judge being used on a character that doesn't have a whole lot of movement options. Shotguns in this game have just pretty crazy bloom, and from what I'm aware, the shotguns did get nerfed after a certain player, I think a Cypher player, was one-tricking with a controller using them. And ever since then, they've been pretty ineffective at any amount of range. So you really need to be able to be quick on your feet to get in range to use those well.
And that's why it's perfect, because they would never
expect it. It's the total mind game. They had no idea.
Yep.
Again, though, on the pistol round, most important round, and looks like KU opening up pretty strong, adapting to the side switch here, able to get the pick on Fade, which is a very scary character to deal with right now.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're pretty open to get that Ultor, but I don't think they're going to try to do it since that's such a big risk right now. Yoru is pushing up quite a bit.
It just calls like, hey, I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here defenseless.
I think they're trying to bait them into thinking they've rotated, but Dylan peeks, and that gives away them just enough. Bit of utility down on A as well, trying to confuse them, but I think they smell what KU's plan is here. But they're all coming through CT. Aki knows that. It's just blind firing it, trying to get any amount of damage he can. Probably doesn't even care if he can get a pick. Chase weaving through the bullets, though, coming through at just the right time.
Good pick there from Chase. Honestly, you're walking into a position that they already have down.
And Jelly not quite able to get that. Very tense reload.
It's not fair. They have two people.
Picked off. Yeah, having two people on two separate ankles there. KU keeping it going here. Yeah. Very, very good for them, especially considering how long their loss streak went last game.
Yes.
But it is still very much blow for blow. This is not a 5-round lead like we saw last game. So George Mason still has a lot of potential to turn this around, especially since they're now on defense. They can kind of change their game plan up a bit. Who knows? Maybe their defense plans will be stronger once they have some real guns.
KU opting to... Yeah, I think you were about to mention this. KU opting to go for the Spectres across the board while George Mason staying back a bit.
Come here.
Never mind. George Mason playing very far up on B site, leaving just one player over at A, who is now going to have to do a 1v2, but they are pulling back towards mid with the spike. Jelly and Cheeto, I wish they had known they had every advantage there. Gunfighter able to get one, got to reload the shorty, able to get out, but not quite able to get through that smoke alive. especially the decay, I'm sure didn't help.
On such a small buy, this is definitely the position that you want to be in.
We're having some technical difficulties, but it looks like Dylan's able to get the spike down on site.
Oh.
We have totally lost visual right now on the match. I'm sure it's very interesting.
We have been DDoSed by...
Yeah, really. We got to check our WhatsApp,
K-State.
see if anybody wants money from us. Every technical difficulty. Again, somebody has their Netrunner very active right now on us.
All right. We have no update.
Yeah, whatsoever.
This just happened. We have no update about what could possibly
We hope the
happen.
game's still on.
Yeah. I'm going to predict that KU ended up maybe dropping that round. Personally.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty strong from George Mason. They were a bit scattered. Lots of utility had already been used. And I think, if I remember right, Aki was already down.
Yeah,
so
it was
without their main
4v2.
player there.
It was
Would've been
4v2.
tough.
Yeah. I'm not sure what else there
I
is
think
to
you
say.
forgot
We
the
got
I in your name. Oh, never mind.
It's just it wouldn't be a it wouldn't be a first stream if we didn't have a little bit of a
Of course, a little bit of
little bit of a bump
that
in the road.
wasn't on us at all. You know,
No.
normally the technical difficulty, it's like, okay, whatever the computer's doing, we know for next time. But that one was just a total Valorant end crash. So, Ryan, please fix your game. Can't have that happening on us. Thankfully, that didn't happen to any of the players. Although, who knows? That might have been what happened with the weird mouse incident earlier.
That
Wish
was
we had gotten
definitely
to hear
interesting.
about that.
I'm sure that was just maybe a little brain fart.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a more elegant way to say that, but that's what I came up with.
A little bit of scuff is to be expected for collegiate teams here, but man, wish we could tell what was happening. Totally riding blind here.
Hey, we're all just out here to have fun.
Yeah.
So
I'm running out of ways to sound smart about what's going on.
Hey, all right.
Okay, well, looks like we've got some visual back on. We can't see what's happening yet.
I was worried that okay, it looks like KU did end up dropping that round,
Yeah,
and
they
this
did
round
lose
does
that
not
one.
look particularly good.
George
either.
Mason, 5 versus 2 right now. Although 2 of them are on quite low health from George Mason, so they can go down pretty easily. But KU doesn't have a whole lot of spraying weapons, so it's not going to matter a whole lot. And just like that, KU crumbles. I wish we could have known how we got there. Looked like they had just were going to go for that site. They didn't have a strong prospect of switching over to A site and did not quite get it. Grant really popping off this game.
Yeah.
D-Ved with a very strong showing from that Yoru. Very good choice of character for him. Haven't seen a whole lot of its utility in use, though.
I think I remember one fight where he sends out his clone and it blows up.
Yeah, the clone that
and
went off
Aki
from
had
the
to
grenade
dodge.
was-
He had to dodge the flash, and that allowed Yoru to walk in and kill him. But
This is interesting from George Mason. 5 stacking A site, playing it like they're attackers because they seem to know that's what works best for them.
Here's something goes for the teleporter, probably just a fake.
Yeah. Oh no, it looks like
It was
did
just
in
a fake,
Yoru.
like-
Yeah, fake Yoru. And oh my god, they're all
Ooh.
lined up and one player down on each team, and just like that, the whole thing turns. I wish I had a more intelligent way to talk
And
about this.
the dust settles and everybody is dead.
Yeah,
And
everybody knows where Jelly is. Lots of utility going out to try to kill him. Spike is under control of KU. They should be able to hold it. Or sorry, of George Mason, but KU still has a chance at this 1v2. He really doesn't have to play around the Spike a whole lot with how spaced out they are.
Oh.
Able to pick up one, but just barely taken out by Esper.
Yeah, it was really well played by George Mason there. Like you both people can really just sit around their corner because Jelly will peek one of them, and even if one dies, you know exactly where Jelly's going to be, and you can just take him out, which is what we saw. So pretty well played. Ties up the round score at 8.
Would have been very
Yeah.
interesting to see how they would have adapted if they had been wrong about that A push. Again, showing they're in KU's heads, because this round, they're not going for that again. Will KU be able to adapt to it?
Big firefights like that are always so exciting.
So tense.
He's like, what's happening? What's happening? And then everything stops, and it's silent, and it's like, oh, everybody's dead.
Yeah, the Twitch bitrate destroyer with
Yeah.
all of those effects on the screen. Feels like we're playing Overwatch.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, I like this.
Love the aquarium skin. Yeah. There's one of them where like water sloshes around it. I'm not sure if that's the same one. Doesn't look like it. Very nice. Checking the corners there, Jelly. And that smoke's not going to last much longer. We'll leave Jelly very exposed in that spot. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. That went down a lot more recently. Fakes out by shooting a bit. It looks like they might be doubling back. to convince them they're going to be rotating to B. KU still has a chance here. They just checked to see if there'd be anybody in lights, and there's not. But they have no information on where anybody is on this site. George Mason still has 2 on B in case there's a rotate. But KU is very committed now. They're deep in sight. Lots of utilities gone up. DVED barely picks up Dylan there. And oh my god, the scramble. Esper just walking in and gunning them down. Grant's able to take him out, but not before he dies right next to the incendiary to DVED.
Yeah, we didn't get to see specifically the angle that I think probably happened.
Yeah.
But if you think back to Gunfighter earlier in this game with that clutch where everyone was just kind of lined up and he can just shoot straight in one direction and get both of them, I think something similar happened through there. Too many people walking in a
angle, not
single file line.
One angle.
Well, you have to walk in a single file line. It's like elementary school taught us.
Oh yeah, follow the leader.
I mean, it's hard to shake that, It's okay. I understand.
Would be really interesting to see some of these fights from above and see some of those tracers go out as they get in these really tight skirmishes on this map. So hopefully we can see some of that. But looks like they've got people pretty far up, expecting another showers push.
Yeah, going back for this.
KU does not care for it.
Hey.
KU does not want to feel constrained over there. They're coming around because they realized what was going on. And they are just spraying down showers. But Esper's able to turn it around with the showstopper, taking out 3 of KU. That could totally ruin their push. Oh my god, I think we just saw 3 ultimates used, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And George Mason just using every tool they have to stop that push dead in its tracks. Very fast take from KU, and they just got caught up going to check on showers instead of confidently taking that site like George Mason would have already had the spike down by then.
Yeah, they just lose track of the raise there and picks up the triple kill with that ultimate.
Again,
everybody's running through the corridor, like trying to push them out, but they don't realize.
Need to be seeing a lot more confidence from KU here when they do get those successful pushes. But more importantly, we need to be seeing them stacked a bit less on top of each other. Total opposite of what I said earlier. And they're seeming to feel that a little bit now. They're spacing back out. Aki able to pick up a real gun there with the Phantom, and he's looking for a corner peek. Checking those corners through the smoke. Doesn't get anybody. Does he know that there's somebody directly below him? He suspected it, and he takes him out thanks to a blind and the satchel charge. Very clean take from KU right now. Able to force them away from that angle on CT with a smoke and a grenade. That spike is down. Unwrapping that rifle there. Will Esper be able to get this pick? He is! Almost looked like a wall bang, but now they know where he's at. That grenade scares Grant a little bit, but all it changes is his footwork, but he's still just barely taken out by that headshot. Esper now has a choice. They know where he is, but they don't know which end he'll come out of. And they're kind of forcing his hand. You have to take damage, or you're going all the way around.
Yeah.
And does he? Oh, not quite deep enough on the Viper. Thought she was a little further off of that site. And Cheeto's able to pick up that kill there. Very strong showing from KU that round.
Yeah, that was a very important round because they had lost a couple rounds in a row. It's like 5. Oof.
Yeah.
So good to pick up that win.
Another one of those.
Get some confidence.
Oh, early utility going out from Cheeto, giving themselves away a little bit, but it could be for a fake out. We'll see, but with another smoke lined up, it may be I'm not going to fake you out. I'm reverse psychology.
Yeah,
am I faking you out or am I not? But we'll see once that utility goes down. Leaving that bomb a little further back. Sorry, Spike. But looks like the Prowler picked up Aki, who is kind of lurking over there by B, and he's a bit trapped.
Do trade 1 for 1 on that whole ordeal.
KU's still in this, and again, they're now on site, but without the spike, they can't push that aggressively in.
Spike is just a little bit behind.
Learning from their mistakes a little bit by not stacking so heavily on showers, but another ultimate comes out of there. Not hitting as many of KU's players, but it's still going to make a difference. Grant being taken out, he's been very strong this game. Gunfighter knows that Jelly is there, but he's not able to get the wall bang.
He does pick it up. Just waiting for the bullets to come back.
It looks like Cheeto and Aki were going for the rotate there because of how much they had invested in that. And Cheeto's going to be able to get the spike down, which is good for Eco, but it is looking like a lost cause for him. Can he hold this angle down? He had to reload. Esper is already on site, and he second guesses himself on how many are going to come around that corner.
Yep.
George Mason able to take that round pretty confidently, at the cost of a lot of utility, though. We have 2 ults available from KU right now, and only 1 from George Mason. So we could see Aki using that showstopper the same way that Esper did. We're not sure. This hasn't been as strong of a game for Aki. He was really popping off last game.
Yeah.
But this game, he's just kind of middle of the road. Again, very strong showing from Cheeto. Glad to see him getting off of that Astra and really hitting his stride here.
Yeah, I agree.
But
it's definitely been very good to see Cheeto and Grant.
Need to see some work from Jelly. I really haven't seen that fade making a whole lot of a difference. And again, very scary character to deal with in the game right now. So there was a lot of potential there.
Looks like a little bit of a change up in the strategy.
Yeah, looks like we're going for a B mid push, which has been pretty successful for KU so far until they get onto the site. It's the on-site scramble if they really lose, but taking Hookah, they seem to have no issues. Chase, though, a bit more aware of how easily they take it and trying to line up a wall bang there, does a little bit of damage to Aki. And he is locked down. KU might be second-guessing themselves. Viper using that utility to convince them over at A that they would be going for a push, but they're just not going for it. Spike has been dropped at a hard spot.
Firefight and B long.
Grant's able to get it back up. And they're really trying to keep them from going B long right now.
And there's not really an option. We know that there's not really an option to rotate to A because they're still holding that site.
Yeah.
Really committing on here. They do pick up D-bed.
KU almost able to take this. They're on site now. Can they hold it? They've got their 2 on rotate from A.
They get set the Viper ult, so it's pretty hard for them to come in.
Yeah. Again, if Esper had that ult right now, it'd be real nice to just fire that into the crowd and probably take somebody out. Spike's still not down. I thought it was down already, but that may give Gunfighter just enough time to come around that flank. KU, only Viper is able to see in this smoke. Esper blindly firing, able to take out the Sky. Oh my god, in a flash.
Yep.
They're able to turn that back around. So KU's able to take that round once again.
Ray's able to cover so much distance in the middle of the air.
Yeah.
Getting that reposition, and you think it's going to be a good angle. Not quite able to, like, just barely off, honestly, on getting the kill on. I don't really remember who was there.
I don't know.
Whoever was there.
I just noticed that my parking expired.
Oh.
Gotta pay for another hour of that.
Um,
You know, in Italy, they just park on the side of the street, like literally, like up into the side of the street, like on the curb.
Oh, interesting.
Like in a neighborhood. It's crazy. We should do that here. They can't ticket all of us. I mean, they can. They can.
They can and they will.
Printer will be working overtime.
Yeah.
KU parking. They are not too fond of us.
I've got your
All right.
trail.
So,
Alright, we're seeing a
KU
pretty
now
close
at 10 rounds. George Mason 11. Much closer affair than game 1. Really exciting.
Seeing the judge come out once again, a judge and a shorty, no long range options, and it's not quite going to work out for Dylan. He gets picked off by D-Ved, but that does lose D-Ved in that trade to Jelly.
Ooh,
Spike down.
He's
so
now
little
down.
low in that firefight.
Last player standing.
Grant is now the last one alive in a 1v4, and he gets picked off by the showstopper once again from Esper.
Quite unfortunate there. It looked like maybe had a bit of an angle, but
Match
you know,
point.
Ray's just jumps in the air,
At the
shoots
match
a rocket
point.
at you.
Can we see the eco real quick? This one? Okay. Yeah,
Everybody's got some money.
they have a little bit. I'm not
Aki
seeing a
is not
whole
that
lot
much.
from Aki right now. And Grant is considering probably taking that risk and buying. Yep, there it's going to... Oh, it looks like Cheeto actually may have bought for Grant. So Cheeto is going to be completely dry if he dies this round. And KU's eco not looking great. Match point once again for George Mason. But they still have a chance to turn this around. We've seen that KU has the chance to really get some aggression going, get some momentum going, and take things over very fast on some of these tackle rounds. Aki very committed to this B push way up, and doesn't have a whole lot of options.
Hoping to get a kill, an early kill with that stinger.
Yep,
Maybe
again,
pick up a better weapon.
Pop the bomb buddy on Hookah, even though nobody's been in there yet. And now only has those satchels. Going to commit up in the air, thanks to the blind. Almost was able to get a pick, but didn't quite get it. Lots of ults going out. And KU looks to be much worse for wear due to it. Oh my god.
Okay.
Grant is cutting his losses and going to A. George Mason's definitely aware of this in this 1v2 scenario. Is he doubling back, or is he just trying to take a different approach into A? We'll see. He's still got one blind left, and he can still heal himself, but It's going to be close here for Grant.
Yeah.
Looks like he's definitely second guessing and considering doubling back to B. But with only 35 seconds on the clock, he really has to get moving. He's got to make something happen. Personally, I think
30
you just
seconds
pull out
left.
your knife and you run for it right now. This
Yeah.
is a do or die moment for KU. We are looking at absolute match point. Trying to get some info if anybody's on site, but that is his only blind. He's just going to have to go for the plant. He doesn't have time to think about anything else. 12. And
Run
he's
is
going
back.
for it.
10 seconds left.
Spike is on, and George Mason just decided to play safe by hanging out at A. Thought he might be getting desperate. Maybe thought they had it. Grant's going to be playing very aggressive. He's got one of his blinds back off cooldown. How he uses that will determine this round.
Oh, and they're pushing it.
Oh my god, he shows
He's
his
fine.
face with a knife out and somehow does not get gunned down, bringing the knife to the gunfight. Cinderella's going to lock him into place, and Gunfighter just barely takes him out, aimed a little bit too high.
Yeah.
And that is just George Mason squeaking out that win in Game 2. It was much closer, though, from KU, and seeing them pull that back in some spots.
Yeah. Much closer.
The way of
Definitely much closer, fair. I think there are some some things to like about what KU showed here. Obviously, you would like to come away with a win.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think they showed some good stuff that I would think
Showed some
you're not super disappointed about that
very
showing.
promising play on certain agents and not so much on others. There aren't as many like critiques I can really give to their play that round. They just kind of lost some of those picks. The plays really weren't that bad,
Yeah.
and they really didn't let Mason get in their head as much. Kind of gave them a run for their money at one point. But once they got their momentum going, probably getting some anxiety and some tilt from some of the KU players, and you really see them start to fall apart towards the end there. Very good showing from Grant, though. Again, last player alive pretty much every round, and not for lack of being pushed up or not for lack of going for those picks. So will be interesting to see how that shakes out going forward in this season.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to see him play a whole lot. They shipped me off to another country. So
Yeah.
very cool to see how the players are settling in here. But that was a great game to watch, especially that second match was a lot more entertaining. You know, the first match we kind of started getting rolled. I don't mean to show my bias at all, but I was like, okay. And here's George Mason.
Maybe we are a tad bit biased. I
George
mean,
Mason
I'm
showing
not
there.
ashamed to admit it.
Oh, sorry, I'm not biased at all.
No.
Yeah.
Completely impartial. All right.
Very confident from George Mason, though. Kind of looking like SEAL Team 6 on some of those entrances, especially Game 1. But KU definitely was not out of it at any point. Don't know what they could have done differently in Game 2 to make that happen. Unfortunately, we were just out of the loop on some of the more important rounds of that game, I would say. But definitely evenly matched in that second game. So not sure who else they're going to need to look out for going forward.
Mm-hmm. All right. And
interested here if the players have anything to say about it, although I'm not sure if we'll really hear from them now. We'll maybe let you know next time.
Yep. I think with that, that is all we have for you today.
Yeah.
A
Sadly,
little
not
bit
gonna see
disappointing
it.
to come away with the defeat here, but I'm sure the boys will bounce back, pick up some W's in the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I feel confident in them.
I do too. There was so much that was strong here that I don't see them going away from this super disheartened. I think that they can definitely take away a lot of positives. And once they look back at those replays, maybe have a better idea of how to deal with some of those really scattered, crazy pushes that they were seeing from George Mason. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. With that, I think we're gonna head to off.
I would
I
say
hope
no
everyone
post-game.
has. I hope everyone watching. Hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.